do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? If you have a situation where your case finally updated to say your case is ready for interview, you want to watch this show. And of course, I'm here to answer any questions, so you're welcome to drop it down in the comment section or chat box. Friends, my name is John Ting. I'm your host today with greencardguys.tv, helping you solve your immigration problem or maybe preventing it from happening in the first place so you can get the legal status that you deserve. Happy Friday. How's the weather where your neck of the woods? It is a little gloomy, rainy here today in Houston. I just got back from Indianapolis, just spoke at an ethics panel, chatting with other attorneys. All right. So that's why I couldn't go live yesterday. All right. So, hey, what's going on? So here's the deal. When a case is ready for interview, I know y'all are excited. You might be wondering, well, I haven't had an attorney up until this point, so everything's been fine. So I should be fine at the interview, right? Yeah, maybe. Sometimes, maybe. But I think you really need to reflect on what you filed to USCIS. Of course, I'm not here to say that you need a lawyer, absolutely, but it really just depends on your case, on yourself, your facts. I can't say for you unless you call us and we have a one-on-one conversation, or one-on-two, I guess, with your spouse, assuming it's a marriage kind of case. But time and time again, a lot of people give us a call and they're very concerned about what happened at the interview. All right, so that's why I go live to share these things. I don't just go through the basics. Okay, so when your case is ready for an interview and you don't have a lawyer, it's okay. Especially, I would say it's only okay though if you have provided substantial evidence, quality evidence. And when I say quality, I don't mean like you gave them 50 photos and that's all you gave them. Right? And if you don't know, here's the deal. If you don't know what is quality evidence, then that's really the first problem. Okay. And then if you don't know, then that's a clue to trigger in your mind that you might need to talk with a lawyer one-on-one. Now, look, I've had interviews in person, even in 2023, when majority of cases, the interview is waived for marriage cases. But having interview is not a bad thing. But I wanted to talk about this because there have been situations when people have called in. I think we got it more recently last week, and someone received a denial letter. Okay. And the government, bless their hearts, some officers just don't provide enough information that I would prefer as an advocate for immigrants. Okay. Right. So unfortunately, in comparison, if I had to compare prior to like other people who have shared the denial letter or notice of intent to deny, what they're trying to do in those documents is say, okay, you had inconsistent statements between you and your spouse. And when they say that, typically that's because they separated you to two different rooms. But the letter I saw that I'm referring to, it wasn't really inconsistent. Okay. They don't match, but that doesn't mean inconsistent. Okay. So that's how you have an advocate to look at that. But look, that's the thing. If you're considering to hire a lawyer after the fact, that's understandable, but do that ASAP, because when you get a denial, you have 30 days to file motion to reconsider. I mean, most of y'all consider, like, you think of appeal, but it's considered motion to reconsider, reopen. In some scenarios, I would say just refile, but in others, I would definitely consider sending in that 290B application at least in the meantime. Now, but yeah, back to assuming if you did not have the interview yet, you really need to study. Okay. So because some people are like, yeah, it hasn't been a problem yet, so I should be fine at the interview, but that's not a really good indication of how your interview is going to go. So please don't get confused that just because you didn't get an RFE yet does not mean that you will be have a difficult time at the interview. Usually, USCIS does try to do a pretty good job in terms of mailing you an RFE, or putting an online account, so you can provide them additional evidence. But sometimes it just goes go straight to the interview. And what I mean straight, I mean it still could take a year. So also a tip: if you had a site visit, okay, where a USCIS officer went to your home where you live, apartment, house, doesn't matter where you live, but they went to your home. That is a indication that when you have the interview notice, you're going to be separated. Okay. I don't know how people think that, like, oh, you had a site visit and it's still going to be okay. Right. Like, I'm not trying to judge here, but like, you need to take action for yourself. You've already paid the 485 fees, the I-130 fees. That's a pretty good chunk, right? So if you're trying to save money because you didn't hire a lawyer because you're trying to save money, I get it. But when you get to the point that you have had a USCIS officer visit your home, like that day, you should call a lawyer. Okay. Not saying that you're going to get like a denial letter the next day or something. And in fact, sometimes, strangely, I think that USCIS takes a long time after that to schedule an interview. I think it's my voice is not audible. Can you guys hear me on Instagram? That's strange. All right, well, let me figure something out on that one. Thanks for letting me know. And Inder Bindra on Instagram. I'm assuming y'all can hear me on TikTok and YouTube. All right, let me figure this out. Good thing I got extra mics. And voila. Okay, let me know if you can hear me on Instagram. Testing. All right, so just that pretty much wraps it up in terms of tips on this to help y'all understand when to take action. Okay, when to at least speak with an attorney, because you really just don't want to wait till last second. All right, it's not a good idea, because most lawyers are going to tell you no, sorry, because you waited too long, right? Attorneys need time. We don't have this like magical wand that we can fix things in like a week. Yeah, I mean, it could be done, but as when there's less time available to prepare a case, think about it, any other business for a service, it's going to cost more. So if you're all about trying to save some money, which everyone is, right, then you really should call a lawyer ASAP. Okay, as soon as you get a site visit, or as soon as you get an interview scheduled, right? I think you all know I share a lot more than many other attorneys. So, but an attorney's not going to walk you through an interview. I'm going to record a video to walk y'all through an interview, how it goes. Unfortunately, not real time. That'd be pretty cool, right? If I had my phone open, they don't like it. The officers don't like it when there's any kind of phone device visible. So they want to make sure you're not recording anything. All right. So, okay, now I can answer some questions. I'll probably be on for about 5 to 10 minutes. Happy Friday, Tony. Jack, do I take the full case or can we take midway? Yeah, we're happy to take it midway. Thank you for asking, Jack. So that's why some people, a good amount of people call us when they get an RFE, notice of intent to deny, or maybe you didn't get that at all, but you filed your case and maybe you did some research and you figured, okay, well, now I still want a lawyer now. Cool, that's fine. We have different rates depending on the situation to accommodate the situation. Okay, we try to be as reasonable as possible. We even help in some scenarios, we even help when you've been scheduled for an interview, but most lawyers don't like doing that because we need, personally for me, I think I really prefer at least 30 days because we have a lot of competing deadlines, right? So it's very difficult to just say everyone's going to drop everything what they're doing and focus on this one client. Like, that's just not reasonable. unless you're like willing to pay a lot, which I don't think you want to, right? So again, I mean, usually when people get scheduled for an interview, meaning you get the letter in the mail, typically they give you at least 30 days, but that doesn't mean they have to give you 30 days, but that's generally what we've noticed. Okay. Let's see. Well, if you're just joining the show, we do offer strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. All right. There's no obligation to hire us. It just allows us to fulfill our mission to at least point you in the right direction. Okay. Um, let's see. Inder Bindra, can you hear me now on Instagram? Mike should be working. All right, on to TikTok question. How long is adjustment of status taking? Um, I think I recognize your name. Is yours a marriage case? Because marriage cases in the United States, meaning the beneficiary immigrant here in the United States, it's taking average 3 to 5 months. There are some, of course, that take longer, but the last one I can remember with the interview in person in Houston, even that was fast with the interview, and that was 3 months. Can't guarantee that for your case, of course, but that's the average for marriage cases. All right, let me move this over. Profe Ernesto, you ask what type of interview I'm talking about right now. Well, really any kind of interview in terms of here in the United States, okay? Um, because if someone's abroad, it does not require the sponsor there, only the foreign national, okay, the immigrant. Limited edition. Limited edition says, you have a friend. She's waiting on GC through VAWA. She has been waiting since February 2021. Is that normal? Yes, it can be normal, but it also depends. I mean, it is normal, unfortunately. It also depends what the status of the sponsor was. If the sponsor originally, or spouse, is a U.S. citizen or a resident, that also can affect the processing times. So if the person is a U.S. citizen, that's going to make it a little bit faster. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Sorry for IG folks. Dang it. Well, all right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. That's funny. Because the conference I spoke, my panel was about AI, ethics around AI and technology, and I'm having technical difficulties on one of the phones. Let's see. Does that work? Did that work? No personalidad? Hope so. Shoot. All right. Well, how long is okay, Rebecca. Oh no, the cough. Maybe I'm just coughing because No, I'm not sick though. Okay, Tony, I'm not sick. Gotta be tough for the kids. All right. You would like to file for your mom, but all lawyers are asking for a consultation fee. Well, Rebecca, we don't ask for a consultation fee. We believe we're able to answer questions. Okay, what I'm going to do for Instagram, I'm going to hop off and I'm going to join again. Hopefully that would help. It's like turning the switch off. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay. And here we go. How much is our fee? So yes, you're talking about the I-130. I mean, the consultation fee. We don't charge for that for 15 minutes. We believe we're able to answer questions in the amount of time. Of course, if you want more time, then we can talk about that at that moment. But yeah, we do charge for that situation. Let's see, what is our fee to help file the I-130? We'd love to share it online here, video format, but I'm not allowed to. TikTok banned me for like 5 minutes the other day. Okay, Instagram, hopefully y'all can hear me now. Or I need to change phones again. Okay, that's weird. I did answer Instagram, folks. Can you all hear me? Testing, testing. Why Islam? You do education videos on yours? Your husband is from Pakistan. How long for interview in Islamabad? You're a U.S. citizen. Okay, well, where are you in the stage? I'm making. Yes, you can hear me. Ah, technical difficulty solved. Now if I can solve a lot more problems. Okay, I'm assuming, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Why Islam? But I'm assuming that you're at that stage of documentary qualified. You've already uploaded the financial documents to the CEAC portal. That's with National Visa Center. If that's the case, I mean, generally, it seems to have been at least it's minimum 6 months. For countries like yours and or for him, Pakistan, they tend to take a little bit longer, like a year. So certain countries like Pakistan, unfortunately, because of post 9/11, they claim pandemic, but I think it's other things. Um, but for that reason, and also like other countries like they're taking on, or other consulates and embassies taking on more applicants because, like for example, the two different wars. Poland, Warsaw, Poland is seeing a lot more applicants, so it's taking a lot longer for Russians. Okay, for example. Hey, Isabella, how I'm doing great. How are you? How y'all doing? You have a question. So your husband had an asylum case prior to you getting married. Congratulations on your marriage. Hopefully everything works out. You had a 485 interview the other day. They conducted interview, but they said they are not able to issue the green card because they already started a petition for removal. Punks. So they will reach So they reach out to the judge to get a decision on the asylum case so they can issue the green card. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about here. How long do you know? How long do you know how? Did I just? How long do you know how long this will take for us to hear back? Um, Sorry, I get tripped up when I see multiple words, the same word multiple times. I'm just being silly. Okay, so that I'm inferring that because your husband has an asylum case, it sounds like asylum is that case was filed with the court, the application, which is completely fine. But yeah, you have. So that's what when I say PD, the two letters PD, I call that prosecutorial discretion, aka to get that court case dismissed. Okay, and so that's what you need to do. You need to have a lawyer to do that. I think you said you had a lawyer. Did he talk to you about that? He or she? Maybe it did not say lawyer. Okay. Well, happy to chat with you, okay, on that, because that's really the next step for you. So this is a really good example of not waiting because by the way you phrase your question, it sounds like that, oh, that we should wait for that officer to do something for you. And no, absolutely not. Because whatever the officer done, what is that? The officer, that USCIS officer, has no obligation to do what they said they were going to do. I know that's weird, right? But it really is not their obligation. It's not their responsibility because those two agencies, USCIS that you had the interview with, and the court, they don't talk to each other. Okay. That's what you would have to do if you represent yourself or have a lawyer. So we try to make that communication easy. They still don't talk to each other when we're involved, right? But we do the talking in between the two different agencies. So hopefully that makes sense because even when someone called the other day. We had a consultation the other day. Someone said they got PD granted. Well, what does granted mean? When someone says granted, does that mean the Department of Homeland Security attorneys agreed to it? And then the second step was a motion filed to the court, right? Because that's what we do as a second step, right? And it doesn't even if the Department of Homeland Securities don't agree to it for whatever reason or no reason at all. Our next step is to file a motion to the judge, to the court, to dismiss. All right. Now, this is default for us as in terms of strategy when someone has a court case and they're married. to a U.S. citizen or a resident. Okay, so please know that. Don't rely on the USCIS officer to do ABC for you, even if they told you they were, right? Because you don't hear this kind of lingo every day like we do. So whatever they said, you could have. Not here to judge you or blame you, but you could have misinterpreted it. Okay, right? So, but even if officers said that, they're not actually going to do it. Okay. You said your follow up comment is you don't have a lawyer. They said they were going to send a letter to the judge. Yeah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. I would be very surprised, and you join us next time, Isabella, if that it really does happen. But even if they said they're going to send a letter, that's just to the court in general, and then the clerks, of course, I guess, send it share it with the judge. But what happened to the asylum case? Was the asylum case like over in terms like it was this like was the order removed from the court? That'd be really good to know because I'm making the assumption right now that the maybe it's a bad assumption, but the assumption that the court case is still open. I'm not sure though. Okay, Isabella, you let us know. Is it still open? All right, great questions. I'm glad that the audio on Instagram is working. Mina on IG. Hello, you came with a K1 visa last year and got married. Filed for adjustment. Okay, good. Had RFE to provide your medical report. That is normal. Yes. And you remember you handed a packet at the port of entry in USA. Right. So when people who enter fiance visa recipients like yourself, you would have already completed the medical. The last time I read the rules on that a couple months ago, you don't have to provide a medical again. So, if you contact us, we'll find that webpage with USCIS. I believe that's where we found it to tell USCIS that you didn't have to do it again. But I mean, I know it costs more money. But yeah, if you want to make it quicker, it's maybe better just to do the medical. If you want to go default option 1 to show that you already did it and you didn't have to do it again, then proof of that you paid for it, right, back at your home country of nationality, some kind of proof that you already did it. And even though there's another example that the agencies don't talk to each other. So in your situation, Mina, is that your case right now with USCIS, but before was State Department. They don't talk to each other unless they're trying to revoke cases. Okay, I need to go back to no personal dot. Sorry, I skipped your question for a second. What is the success rate when sending the waiver? 601, 45. Okay, all that together. Currently working with you guys. Appreciate everything we do. Thank you so much. I can't tell who you are with your name, but success rate, it's in this situation is highly dependent on the waiver application, what information is on there. We try our best with clients like yourself to provide relevant evidence. Okay, so some people say like, oh, I got obligation with another family member, could be helpful, but if we have more other stronger evidence, then we prefer really focus on that. But yeah, it's probably going to take at least 12 months. And so if we send it all together, at least 12 months. 601s, even by itself, at least on the processing timetable, last time I checked, about last month, it said 24 months. Okay, so hang in there, okay? And since you said you're a client, thank you so much for joining live. We always appreciate that and happy to answer questions live. But also, you might already know, you're welcome to email us. We try our best to respond in 24 hours. It's getting a little bit difficult these days, but we still try our best. Or you can self-schedule an appointment. All right, thank you so much, which is typically Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, Isabella, he was supposed to go in front of a judge, but COVID happened, so it's in limbo right now. But the USCIS officer stated that they started a petition for removal, even though he didn't see the judge. She gave you a document stating nothing is required at this time. They will reach out to us if they need anything or another interview may be conducted. I-130 was approved as well. Okay, great. Well, great that I-130 is approved. Okay, that's to show that they're trying to prove that or make sure that if you were married, then you got divorced in the right amount of time and all that. So that's good. Now it's the 485. So the legal information I want to share with you is that USCIS cannot approve a case, or even, yeah, they cannot approve a case when there's a court case active, or there's an order of removal, or it's administrative close. We call it like temporary closure, as one way I can explain it. But you have to get that case dismissed. That USCIS officer, that is not their job. Okay, so you need to hire a lawyer or do it yourself. Do not wait around, because some people have contacted us like a year after like this situation, and they're like, dang it, John, I should have done something. So I'm telling you right now, do not depend on whatever the hell the USCIS officer said, because that does not make any sense. There's nothing called a petition for removal. Okay, if anything, it would be a referral to removal, but your husband already has an active removal case. So, but what you just shared, it sounds like that it is an active case, but maybe a court hearing is not scheduled. So the court hearing is not scheduled at all. That's even better for your husband, right? Because clearly, there's a pretty good indication that the government doesn't want to take an active pursuit in his removal, right? So, anyway, happy to chat. Take advantage of our free 15 minutes. All right, to TikTok. Dang it, Tony, cough is back. And I can say, yes, the U.S. government does discriminate against certain countries. I don't know. Sometimes I do say it, and sometimes I don't say it like that. Gasant, yes. Hi, sir. You're welcome to ask anytime. You guys, some of y'all are so polite, but you can welcome to go ahead and ask. Rebecca, how can you contact us for more information? Filing for your mom. Absolutely. So we're open book. Okay. You can, the old school way is go to our website, greencardguys.com. Since you're on TikTok, give us a follow here so you don't forget about us. But also send us a DM. Okay. Send us a DM and we can send you, just message there and we'll send you our phone number. But otherwise, go to greencardguys.com, because up here on Facebook and YouTube, you can see the phone number right up there. So just give you a little idea, Rebecca or anyone else considering to give us a call, ask us a question, is that the first person you usually speak with is our CARES team specialist. They're not attorneys. I do try my best along with my legal team to train them like an attorney, so they, of course, understand more of the situation, really to save y'all some time, because I know that most law firms have a long time period from the time you call until like a consultation, like a couple weeks. And it's not so much because they're busy, it's because their team's not trained to know what questions to ask. So like, let's say if my team asks me questions, it's very difficult for me to answer the questions like within an hour. We have team meetings, right? So our schedules are all blocked out. Let's see. Gasant, you're from Haiti. Your case is ready. You have an immigrant visa. Oh, you're applying for immigrant visa. I don't know what stage your case is at, Gasant. Can you let us know a little bit more? Have you run into some challenges on that, or are you just waiting only? Moya Allen, if you submit an RFE online, can I still send physical mail, or will that slow down the process? I'm not sure honestly on that, but if the notice says online, which we received something like that, then I would just submit online. I believe it's faster that way in that sense. Unfortunately, for some people, the USCIS does not have online filing for all case applications, but hopefully it helps. I can't remember if when you submit online, if they give you like a green check mark or something to give you some kind of confirmation. If they don't, I guess if they don't give you any kind of confirmation, which I'm pretty sure they do, then I would mail it in before the deadline, of course. It has to be received, whether you upload online or mail it in, it has to be received before USCIS has to receive it before the deadline. Yvette, you've consulted a couple of You've consulted with a couple of law firms, and you can say our team is definitely one of the best. Thank you so much. That's very nice. That is very nice. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. I'll let my team know and share that with them. Oh, that's a good time to ask y'all. So if y'all receive, really appreciate our team in that sense, whether you had a consultation with us or not. But if you, especially if you've spoken with one of our CARES team members, please go to reviewteamlaw.com and please mention their name. Our leadership provides them bonuses at the end of every month. And that's reviewteamlaw.com. Okay, you did your fingerprints for the Form I-601A. Ooh, in 2021. Can you do anything about it? I think what you mean is, can you do anything about now that it's been filed and it's been 2 years at least for you, it sounds like? Yeah, we've been filing mandamus lawsuits for waiver cases. There is a class action lawsuit, I believe, is in California. But last time I checked, it's really not too much movement. And in my belief, it's because, look, if there's a class action lawsuit, the government doesn't want to make a decision for that many cases at once, right? So they had to break it up. If I were the government, I would have a structured settlement agreement essentially to say, like, oh, okay, X amount of cases are going to be decided on in X time rather than like all at once. But in my opinion, I think it's better to do individual. It just depends on the situation. Let's see. Can you describe the citizenship interview for a service member? If I recall, it's not much different in terms of the questions. It's more about, essentially inadmissibility. Okay. That's what the government cares about. And thank you for your service. Okay. Sean, appreciate it. But their focus on inadmissibility. I need to record a video about that. How to prep for interview. Okay. But yeah, that's basically the key thing. Let's see here. Okay. Isabella says, thank you. I'll reach out to you after I appreciate it, Isabella. All right. Coma. Did I go more than 10 minutes? See, y'all, I like to share information, which, by the way, there's just legal information. There's not legal advice because I'm told I'm supposed to tell you that. But that's a disclaimer. If you want legal advice for yourself, for your case, you need to call a lawyer, talk to a lawyer one-on-one. Okay. I just go live to share information to at least help you, point you in the right direction, really mostly so that you don't get stuck. So you're not waiting around, which is why we're hoping to save time for Isabella, for example. Commandant Tech, you're from Brazil and just got married in July. Congratulations to you. Hope everyone is able to find their right match if they want to get married. Are you here in the US now? Okay, Abraham. After you had your TV, so now you're adjusting status, will you need an interview? So interviews have a discretion, right? Just like that we've been talking about in 2023, they've been waived for the most part. So same thing for T visa or people who have U visa, victim of a crime, T visa for trafficking or unpaid wages. So I wouldn't say default no interview, but I would just be ready in case there is one. But again, just because there could be an interview with USCIS based on your 485 application, that's not a bad thing. Okay, it doesn't mean it's a negative situation. But again, just like I mentioned at the top of the show, it's good to speak with a lawyer, at least because immigration lawyers, we do this every day. At least, we want to make sure that you get your status, okay? Isabella's asked to change your address as your current address as a family home. and have access to the mail as well. Oh, shoot, I missed the prior comment. You have one more question. So, being in this situation has occurred with a pending 45 because of the asylum case, your husband and you are planning to move from New York to Texas. Oh, do I think it's smart to change address? Well, how soon are you trying to move? um, it sounds like it's pretty soon. New York to Texas, that's where we're at. We're here in Houston, Texas. I'm formerly from Dallas. um, if you do move at any time, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but um, first of all, I don't think USCIS is going to send you anything anytime soon, other than the I-130 approval. Okay, because first of all, again, you have to get his court case dismissed. But yes, if someone is moving, okay, in general, and you have a case on file with USCIS, whether it's you just filed it or you're like 12 months in or something, you need to do two things, okay? Number one, with USCIS, I think it's you just Google search USCIS AR 11, okay, or online change of address, and it should take you there. Now, of course, anytime you're Googling something, you want to make sure you go into a government website or intend to go to a government website, make sure at the end of the URL is .gov, okay? That just means US government agency, essentially. So you update it there. You have to do it for every application that you filed, just in case. So, of course, for Isabella, the most important is the 485 application. The second one is with forwarding your address with U.S. Postal Service, USPS. And I believe you can do that online. There's no sense of going in person. I think you have to pay $1 or something online, but that will save you a lot of time. Imagine spending like an hour at the post office. I do not want to do that, especially with two little kids. Can't do it. Yeah, you don't want to get confused. Anything. Oh, that was quick. Okay, cool. We'll be in touch then. Which, by the way, we really appreciate it for anyone who is able or considering us, at least to have that conversation, a strategy session. But ultimately, it's not me in the consultation. So, sorry, I didn't want to mislead anyone. Just because I have a lot on my plate, as you can imagine. I just flew in this morning. I woke up like 4 something in the morning, and I'm doing this live thing. I said I was only going to do for 10 minutes. All right, so you're coming next month to you're Austin. Okay, cool. That's cool. Austin, Texas. I was just there a couple weekends ago with family. It's always a good time in Austin, but it is crammed in Austin. So good luck finding a spot to live. Hopefully you did if you're moving next month. No personalidad. What motive? Can you send us a DM so I know who you are? What motivated me to become an immigration attorney? Man, I just got another lawyer asked me that yesterday. Actually, great question. A lot of different reasons. One of the main reason, unfortunately, it's usually because most of the reasons negative thing, I guess you could say, and trying to make a change, advocate, just advocate really. But the real story is one of my friends from college. She, one of her close friends, their family, the ICE, Immigration Custom Enforcement agents, did a home raid. You know, it was like one of those things like between 2 and 5 in the morning. Um, as far as I know, there were no crimes or anything for the dad, but you know, that's just not right. It's just not right. So that's one of the reasons I became immigration attorney. And still doing it. It's been 12 years. Can you believe it? I shaved so I can make sure y'all know it's not been 12 years. Gassant, you would like to know. Gassant, you would like to know when you receive your interview. I need to know more, Gassant. But in general, if you're abroad, or you are abroad, you usually have to wait between 6 to 12 months, unfortunately, after you receive an email from National Visa Center that says somewhere in the middle, documentarily qualified. Okay. Omo Wumi, you have not received your work permit. USCIS sent you a request for RFE on medical. They received it. How long does it take? I wish I had the magic ball answer on that because a lot of people have been very kind to share their experience in that situation. I've seen comments of their experience about like 1 month, got a response back or approval, or some people I've known some people say 6 months. So, but for us, we've been very fortunate. A couple times where we asked for medical, um, it was approved next week. But typically for us, our default, even before this whole interview was being waived, it was we always prefer to mail it in with the entire package just because we know it would speed up cases to some extent. Thanks, Prince. Appreciate the rose. Thank you very much. You get Sylvester TV. You received RFE September 8 on the 864. Okay, how long does it take USCIS to update the status after receiving a response? There's no, I wish I had that magic ball answer too. There's no set timing per se. Um, but hopefully they at least said what they do, actually, Sylvester, is at least they'll say received RFE response, something like that. So hopefully you got that. But if you don't have that show up in your online status, then hopefully you sent the package with some kind of mailing tracking number. So at least you get some peace of mind that they received it. All right, Prince. After marriage, GC holder, you have to wait 5 years after marriage or 5 years after becoming green card to become citizen. Well, are you currently married to the person who sponsored you? That's a key thing. So if you're still married to that person that sponsored you, then that's 3-year rule. Okay, but if you got divorced, indefinitely separated, because I mean generally most people end up getting divorced, then it's 5 years. Now that 5 years can include the time that you are on the conditional residence status. So thank goodness. Okay, hopefully that helps. lot of great questions. I'm sorry I'm not able to respond to everyone. Um, if y'all just joining, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states, America, and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even helping you prevent it from happening in the first place so that you can get the legal status you deserve. Jasmine, you asked, do we offer free consultation? We absolutely do. Not everyone is qualified for it though, okay? Because really when some people are not qualified, it's either a case that we don't accept. For example, asylum, we don't accept that. For asylum cases, we do help to sue the government to get your interview date sooner or to get the decision, right? That's an example. But ultimately, our CARES team, when you call in, they'll pre-qualify you. But yes, we do offer for free for 15 minutes a strategy session. Happy to help. Black Widow, you did your 589 asylum in 2016. You're still waiting on interview. I guess that's why I mentioned that. So in your situation, we've had clients or your file date 2016. We file lawsuits on asylum at minimum 4 years waiting time, and we've been able to get the interview date typically within a month or two. You're a U.S. citizen, and what is the requirement to sponsor your mom? Well, the first thing is that you have to be a U.S. citizen, so you share that, so that's good. And then, because when you're a U.S. citizen, adult son or daughter is sponsoring a parent, then that's called immediate relative classification. So even though you have the normal waiting time, let's just say 6 months to a year, you don't have to wait for the visa like the family preference category. Okay, so hopefully it helps. And yes, you can do this, help sponsor your mom, even if she's in the U.S. or outside the U.S. Lauren C. You received your EAD work permit. Hallelujah. Yeah. Now you can work. Yes. Hopefully that answers your question. So some people ask, like, okay, I got my work permit. What about my social? That's a tough one because we've known some people, even our own clients, that Social Security Administration can be slow. So if it's been, I mean, again, no set timetable really for anything, but other than Yeah. Well, anyway, there's no set timetable for SSA to issue you something, but when you filled out the 765 application, on the right side, right column, it does ask question: would you like SSA to mail you a social security number? So of course we check yes. Some people don't. Some people do check no because they may have had one from a prior application like DACA or TPS. Um, but if you check yes, I mean, I would say estimate like a month or less. But if it's been more than a month, then just set an appointment, schedule appointment with SSA office, or just show up to see, check your local office, and they should get that done for you. Okay. Is it normal to? All right, I think that's going to be my last question for now. Because I gotta get to a team meeting. Is it normal USCIS hasn't updated 601A to biometrics taken? It says biometrics fee approved. I think something like that's not a big deal. I don't think anything like that's going to slow it down in that sense, in terms of processing, because in general, 601A is going to allegedly take 4 years, 3 to 4 years. So it's very unfortunate. Now, unless you sue them, of course. Now, if you just filed it last month or even less than a year ago, I would say it's too early. Okay. But the sweet spot so far seems to be at least 2 years. Okay. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Okay. Yes, Lauren, I see your follow-up to someone else. Yeah, you have to. Well, you need the work permit itself, because when you get a job, then they'll send you an I-9 form, and or ask you for some identity documents. So you'll need to have your work permit. All right, folks. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time and your trust to ask me questions. I really appreciate it. And if you have spoken with one of my team members and really appreciate it, please go to reviewtinglaw.com and mention their name, because the leadership does provide bonuses to them every month. We really care about customer service, as some of y'all mentioned here on the live show. Thank you so much. And if for some reason you're too shy, just not quite ready to speak with us, all good. Okay, no pressure. You can go to our website to find more information, greencardguys.com. And we have scroll down and you'll see some links for free guides. Basically, answers to common questions and estimated step by step. All right, today's Friday, TGIF, and I'll see you on Monday. Y'all take care.